Hello, beloveds. I'm so excited that the sun is joining us in this transmission. That's really kind of amazing. It's like it's shining right on us. I pray and I affirm that this transmission finds you all surrounded with love and light and joy and peace and protection. I'm feeling like, well, first of all, this is transmission number 12, and I am recording the transmission in Sally, my car. Again, I'm still at the park, at the outskirts. I even walked to the picnic table where I found so much peace and comfort before I recorded this or started recording this, and I realized that I probably will not be writing at that picnic table anymore or at this park. I don't know what it is, if it's just a need for my energy to be confined into a tighter space right now, or if it's because I'm shifting, my energy shifting, and this is no longer a space that resonates with me. I don't know, but I felt it strong as I walked to the picnic table, which it was really cool. My offerings, I guess kind of an altar that I offer to Mother Earth every time I write and create there. Everything was still there. The 2 roses I had added, they're little bitty baby roses, but I added them in some of the last visits that I did my writing and creating at that picnic table. So anyway, I am just coming from therapy and thought instead of doing a writing session, I would do this transmission. And I love how sun is just lighting up the dandelion that I found on my walk to the picnic table and back, right at the front of the screen. You may also notice that I have added some more color to my sigil. I'm super stoked about it. The blue around the edge of the web just feels very light and flowy. Almost, it reminds me of when I was growing up. There were indigenous people who would create these massive I don't know, circles that were made animal skin. I don't know. I don't remember if it was seal skin. I'm imagining it had to be a pretty light skin, but they would stitch all the pieces together and make this gigantic circle, and it was like, if I'm remembering correctly, like everybody would hold the edges around in a circle and bounce somebody in the middle, and it was kind of like a trampoline. So that's what my sigil reminds me of right now, with that added blue around the edges. I needed it to feel more like a circle, and so with the blue, I see that as representing sky and water. So also sky in my mind equals air, so both the air and water elements. I just really love that the sun is shining on me on this transmission. I think it's kind of groovy that like half of the sigil is in the shade. Not quite half. Most of it's in the sun. But what do we have with us today? I picked up a little twig, that has these lovely pieces of moss on them, and I don't know if you can see, so cute. And a sprig of some kind of evergreen, probably a spruce tree, and some fluffy lichen. Don't know if you can see in the back corner behind the incense. And a kind of golden brown leaf. Of course, we have our incense, the Nag Champa. I also included my blue butterfly. Butterflies signify freedom and transformation and playfulness, lightheartedness, visits from our ancestors. Yeah. And what else do we have? Oh, this lovely little piece of bark. I believe it's from a cottonwood tree. But it has this really groovy display of moss growing on it that is kind of shadowed with the sunshine, but it's really cool. So, oh, and I also picked two leaves from a cherry tree on the walk with Irie this morning. So, all the love and light is with us. I just looked at the timer and it said 9:11, 9:11. 911 has been a steady number in my energetic field for probably the past year. And it signifies, if I'm remembering correctly, alignment and spiritual awakening. I'm really mesmerized by watching the smoke. play and dance against the windshield. Anyway, I had a whole, oh my gosh, a whole head full of possibilities and what I was supposed to share in this transmission. And now that I'm sitting here recording, I'm not sure which one to, let's just see what comes to the surface. The help of smoke. Yesterday I made a stew, and for the past 5 years, this season of holidays, I have been alone, just me and Ivy. And maybe it's been 4 years, but the year in 2020, even though I was surrounded by people, I realized that they were not people who had my back. They were not people who saw me or loved me. So that was an incredibly painful experience. And in the past 5 years, I have been learning to separate myself, or honestly, Spirit has removed every human who is not about my highest good and the highest good for all. And it's only been in this past year that I've been able to recognize that this was divine protection to align me so that I could ascend and rise in my destiny and my divine purpose. But it's definitely, on one hand, I really enjoy my company. I really enjoy hanging out with me, which is really rad. But I also have the spirit of a bee, and I need my hive. And I've talked about this in previous transmissions, at least I'm pretty sure I have, about recognizing last year that the only way I saw that I could bring my beehive to me, to bring my bees, my star family, was by raising my vibration, by raising my frequency. And I've been doing that with the magical playlist and writing and the photography and more recently these transmissions. But yesterday I am incredibly grateful that Irie and I still have a warm place to stay, and it's incredibly painful the alcoholic that we live with has started being mean. Well, since he said that this is no longer working, I was able to talk through things with him. But since then, there've just been these moments where he just says mean shit. And I know it's not mine. I know it's projection of his own inner demons. But it has pushed me to be grateful each moment that Irene and I have four walls and warmth. For this moment, and that's where I'm leaving it. In this moment, we have some sense of safety. But this soul just wants to take, and as much as I protect my energy and just do my best to separate myself and not engage and not entangle with the energy, we are living under the same roof. So it is a lot of work, and it is a lot of fucking work to ascend and rise and reach higher vibrations and frequencies while attempting to navigate this 3D situation that does not make any sense to me anymore. For a while, I understood that there were pieces of me that needed to heal, and that's why Spirit had me in this scenario, this space, but now it just is wrong. I wish I could describe what it feels like to know that you don't belong where you're at, but you can't seem to find where you do belong. So I continue going internal and recognizing and reminding myself that I belong with me, that my light does belong in this world, that my love does belong in this world, and the brighter my light gets, the stronger my power gets. That is why I'm facing these mean energies that don't make sense and certainly don't match my energy. But back to the pot of stew. I gratefully had the house to myself yesterday, and I had a plan that I was going to make this stew, and I always cook for myself during the holidays, and I have the intention that I am cooking for all the orphans in the world who don't have family, chosen or otherwise, who don't have human souls surrounding them. I cook for all of us and put those intentions and that love in every single ingredient that I put in the meal. So yesterday I made a stew. I started with ham hocks, big chunks of ham that were smoked, and I blessed the beast that provided that meat for the stew, and I added onions and made kind of a roux or a gravy in the bottom with all of that. Oh, so the mixture of the fat from the ham and of course, had to add butter. So just by BT Dubs, one of my superpowers is being a really awesome cook slash chef. I've been cooking since I had to stand on a stool to reach the kitchen counter. But anyway, so then I added chopped carrots, celery, some chopped celery leaves, some finely chopped rosemary, fresh rosemary, corn, sweet corn, diced red potatoes, vegetable broth. I guess I'm giving you all a recipe here. Recipe of the love stew. Put in some barbecue sauce, some smoke, some liquid smoke, some cayenne pepper. Gotta have a little spice. And tomato, roasted red pepper, bisque. Some of that went in there. And some pinto beans. I think that's it. But think about all those ingredients. All of those ingredients could represent all the ways that I am sending out my love and that I am sending out my light. So put all that together in a pot and let it just slow cook for like 6 hours. And then I made a little bit of bread dressing, and I put chopped kale on top, and a mixture of shredded Italian cheeses, so Asiago, Parmesan. Oh goodness, I don't remember. I think there's like 4 different cheeses, but those are the 2 I remember. And baked the dressing. Oh my gosh, it's so beautiful with the chopped kale. Anyway, and also specifically the day that many people celebrate as Thanksgiving, I have for the past few years seen it as a day of sacred reverence and giving all the gratitude to the indigenous people of this planet who have tirelessly worked and fought and died to protect Mother Earth and continue to every day. So to me, that is what the day is for. But I've also, okay, so first of all, I totally put my foot in that stew. It was so fucking delicious. Oh my gosh, it was so delicious. It was like the whole meal all in a pot. With the dressing on the side. Oh my goodness, it was heaven. So I pray that all of my beloveds out there got a little dose, a little taste of that love that I put in that stew. So something that has been heavy on my heart to talk about is how to describe what it's like to be an orphan. What does it feel like? What does it taste like? What does it smell like? What does it feel like in one's soul, in one's heart, in one's mind, to be an orphan? How do I explain this experience to someone who has not known what it is to be an orphan? To be abandoned, to be rejected, to be misjudged, misunderstood, dismissed, discarded, often like trash. I don't know how to describe it, but I do know that for me, it is not normal. Now, let me just side note, I know that I am not normal and I have never been normal. But I know it is not normal that somebody who has lived a half century of being pushed out and rejected and abandoned and discarded and underestimated and ignored, basically not loved. It is not normal that my heart has remained tender and kind. It's just, I believe it's frankly quite impossible. Like, how has that happened? Because it is who I am. My heart is my light. And no matter how many rejections I have faced, no matter how many times people have abandoned and betrayed me and turned their backs on me, for no reason, like, that is what has boggled my brain and broken my brain so many times over, is like, but what did I do? I shone my light, and it was too much. It has been too much. And souls just haven't been able to respond in any way other than rejection and abandonment. But I've been pondering, like, this load that I am carrying, this pain and suffering, is far beyond my own experience. But it is through my experience that I am meant to share my story with the world, for a multitude of reasons, but to help bring truth and understanding to those of us who the world has, by all accounts, left behind, left in the gutter, kicked while we were already down, left to burn, left to drown. Part of my purpose is to know that experience, know what that feels like on every level, to pray and long for and wish for a family who loves us, when I say us, I mean the collective. But what it means to have that longing, and I don't have answers. I definitely don't have answers. There's a car that stopped behind me. Don't understand why. Oh, we're talking to another car. Gotcha. Okay. So, yeah, that is what I've been pondering this past week. And I don't have answers other than I have been meant to go through this experience as an example, as a witness to all of the beautiful, blessed souls out there who have been abandoned, orphaned, mistreated, misjudged, villainized, betrayed. And being an orphan can look a million different ways. But I don't believe that the feelings change much. Feel like that piece is pretty much the same. So here I am giving my transmission to this beautiful group of trees beyond. There's oak trees and maple trees and I don't know what all kinds of trees, but I envision them as my future audience. I think I've mentioned this in the last transmission, but that's a pretty cool audience if you ask me. And then all the vines of ivy on the trees, keeping them green even though they've mostly lost all their leaves. And I really hope that the cars going by behind me aren't too distracting or too loud. But I do find it really cool how in the winter the vines continue to thrive, keeping green in with the trees. And then of course the moss, the green moss that just like explodes with the rain. I'm so happy to have the rain Um, so I'm very grateful for my audience, and I'm grateful for my future human audience, as is symbolized by all these beautiful trees, um, basically surrounding me. So we're facing south, and they are, if I look to my left, they're to my left. If I look to my right, they're to my right. So east and west, and definitely they're behind me as well. So I'm literally surrounded by this incredible magical audience. um, hmm, I suppose that's a good place to call a wrap on this transmission. I'm incredibly grateful for you being here with me. Whenever you find this transmission, I love the energy never dies. It just continues to morph and change and shift and become. I think that's why I love watching the smoke so much, is because it's a sign, a signal, a reminder that energy is always moving, always shifting, always just being energy. So with that, I just love the dandelion. Do you know, it actually, I'm noticing that it looks like it's mirroring the anchor of the sun on my sigil right across from it in the southish corner, south pointing corner. Isn't that neat? Anyway, I'm sending all of my love and light on the wings of music, and I wanted to let that car pass before I finished. I am sending all of my love and light, healing white light, on the wings of music, and I love you all very much. I am giving y'all the biggest, most giant hugs energetically. Huge, huge hugs. Oh my gosh. Do you know that's the thing about being in solitude and having to do this work solitary, is I miss hugs. Like in life, when I have received true, genuine, real hugs, that's what I miss. That's what I look forward to. All these energetic hugs coming back to me in real life form. All right. Well, I will end it with this. I am light. I am earth. The music lives in me. I am love grounded. Thank you times infinity. Until the next transmission, peace, love, light, and joy, my beloved.